What is going on, guys? Diddy vs. All Gaming with my review of Prison School Episode 2, and holy crap, was this episode so freaking hilarious. I loved it from beginning to end. This scene right here, it is definitely bringing a comedy, and hopefully, this show does do pretty well, because right now I am loving it. But the episode itself, it picked off from last week now, where we have our main guy, what's his name, Kiyoshi. We see now that when he fell, luckily he did not fall face first into the piss, but we see now that it did get pretty close to him, and of course that right there caught Hana off guard, so she screamed out. And we see now that when everybody came to around them, obviously nobody had any idea what was going on, and there was no way Hana would want anybody to know what she was doing out there. So obviously she was definitely going to keep her mouth shut about this, but that right there definitely came back to bite her in the end, at the end of the episode. But now we see, like going forward a bit, we see now that the Crowmaster and the chairman, they were talking in his office, and we see now that pretty much everybody but him was like against bringing like boys into this school. And so we see now, because he's the chairman, obviously he has a lot more power than them. So even though nobody else wanted it, it is good that he was the one that allowed this. But we see now, luckily, this guy, he is trying to look out for the boys, but obviously he could not do that much, because he was saying that he had wanted the boys to have Saturday and Sundays off, because that right there is how we're normally in prison. And of course that right there makes a lot of sense. And so we see now that these two, they have a very special relationship, because we learn now that the chairman is actually her father. And so we see that obviously she cannot really go against him, because obviously these two don't have the best relationship from what we've seen so far. But she can't take it out on the boys every time, her father, makes her mad. And so now we see that while they were working, they actually got a break. But that right there, didn't last long, because even though they knew that now that they might have a chance, to actually get some free time, she was like going to take it away. And now we see at one point where we have Kiyoshi throwing out some trash. We have Chill here getting his attention, and now we see that she had made like some note for him, but because her throat was like so bad, he did not see it, and so she had to make another one in this notebook. And when he saw what that note said, obviously it was to remind him of that day, and it made him so happy that he was like definitely looking forward to it. But when they had lost their break, because they were going to give 3 hours to themselves, and it definitely messed up that even though they are in prison, so to say, this right here is still a school. So I don't understand why in the world, they can't go home. To me, that right there still make no sense, because I don't understand how this school or this underground student council can have like so much control over them, where they guys I'm pretty sure they have family, they're like definitely worried about to be in school, all the time. But now that he lost his break, he had no choice but to break out. And we see now that while we're planning that, and we see that he actually and we see now every time he got a break, like I believe we said those breaks last for like 3 minutes each, and we see now that he had a fork from where they eat their meals, and every time he went on a break, he was like going to use that to dig a hole. And obviously if he kept this up, it should be big enough for him to use it, so that way, he could make his escape. But now we see certain things could like get in his way. And then the following day, we have Gakuto, whatever name is. We have Four Eyes here. He actually found that note that Chiyo first made for him. And that face now, and that face he made to Kiyoshi, when Kiyoshi realized that he knew it, to me, that right there was priceless. I definitely love the way the animation done with the series. To me, it is definitely, like pretty good, especially at the funny times, because when it gets serious, you definitely know that it is. And so for that, that right there also got, a chuckle out of me, because, I was just thinking this guy fucked up big time. And so now we see that, like there was a shower scene, and it did get kind of awkward because we saw now that Kyoshi was thinking, what can he do? And then we have because right now I can't say name, but we have Four Eyes coming up behind him and like offering him to like wash his back, and we see now obviously Kyoshi was definitely not down with that, and he made his way out. But now we see now that Four Eyes definitely like at first I truly thought that like Four Eyes here was like definitely going to like ruin Kyoshi escape plan, because we see now that every time Kyoshi here had like went to like dig his hole or otherwise throw some trash, he would like always leave something behind, and you see Four Eyes getting punished for it. And to me, that right there was like messed up. And then we also have the Crowmaster, or the council president. Like her and her father definitely had this like rocky relationship, because at one point he was like not in his office, and she had came off to drop the student book or a guide, whatever you want to call it. And we see now that when she put it on his desk, it accidentally hit his mouse, and that right there made his computer power up. And when she saw his screen, she obviously got pissed because she called all men scum, and we still have no idea why in the world she like hate her dad being a pervert so much. But obviously I'm thinking that it must have something to do with her mother, and I'm pretty sure that we will learn that or learn why is that. But right now we have no idea how long it'll be before that right there is revealed. But we see now that there was like one scene where we have the chairman. He had came back to his office now, and obviously he saw that that booklet or pamphlet, whatever you want to call it, and obviously his computer was like still on, and so he knew now that his daughter must have seen that. And so we see that while we were like walking the halls, for some reason she was still at school, and we see now like while the chairman was in office, he did grab some book. And while they had a brief exchange, in the hallway, that book accidentally dropped from between his arms, and we see now, like what was inside, like all these pictures of, of girls' butts. And to me, I was dying laughing. And at first, his daughter said nothing. I said, she had walked by and stepped on them. And now you said that the boys will be punished, even more. And of course, that right there was like definitely, not a good thing. But then we learn now that, oh, I forgot. There was like one scene where Kyoshi was like throwing out trash. And we have Hana, like coming up behind them. And so at first she was like worried that like maybe Kyoshi had told the guys about what she was doing. But luckily, this guy never opened his mouth. And to me, that right there was a bit, respectable or admirable, because, this girl, abused him and treat them like crap. And yet he kept what she was doing a secret. And, any other guy pretty sure, would have told them, or at least use that to his advantage. But Kyoshi's not like that. And to me, that right there, made me like the character more. But now Hana here was like so obsessed with like seeing him pissed, because that right there was the only way she would believe that he never opened his mouth. And right before, he or we think at least that he might do it, luckily we have Four Eyes coming to rescue him. And then we learn now that the only reason why Four Eyes here is like helping Kyoshi is because while Kyoshi is like sneaking out, he wants him to actually get him this like limited edition figure. And of course both of them can't do it. So in the 3 hours that he's gone, Kyoshi is the only one that can also go to that sumo tournament and also get this, figure for him. And so that right there, like even though Four Eyes, has like his own motive for doing this, it's still rather nice that like he wants to help his friend and and not rat him out. And then we see now, like with both of them working together, it was now time for them to actually, like start their master plan. And so we see now, once again, Kyoshi like throwing out trash, but but this time on purpose, he accidentally, like left some behind so that Kyoshi would get beat up, and that right there led to a fake fight between them. And then we have Hana getting involved, getting all violent, and she kicked Four Four Eyes now, and that right there, made them knock down the shed. And then we have, what's her name? The vice president, she came along and wondering what happened. And of course, Hana here would not fess up to her doing this. And so she put the blame on them. And now we have the vice president, making up a heads or tails. And we see her now abusing them. And not only that, because, that they could now be rougher on them, she actually, stepped her game up. And went from using a whip to actually using a riding crop. And now we see her sitting on Four Eyes' face, and that guy was lucky. Even if he couldn't breathe, that guy was still lucky. And we see her now beating Kyoshi with that prop. And now she had assigned them to actually, rebuild that shed. And of course, they were going to use this to actually, dig the hole even more. But now with Hana watching them, they couldn't do that. Oh, and also, there was a fan service scene. But really, you cannot call that fan service. It was between the president and the vice president, taking a bath together, and really with all that steam blocking everything out, pretty much that right there really could be called fan service. So I'm definitely not gonna talk about that much, but I did want to bring it up though, because this show is great, but the only problem so far is definitely the random censorship, because obviously a show like this, it definitely does better if it wasn't so. This station that's airing this show and doing this, I do wonder why they're hurting this way. But obviously the Blu-ray sales, it should definitely get a major boost, because obviously people will definitely want to see this stuff uncensored. But that now we see that with Hana watching them, they could not dig their hole, and we see now Hana here will still obsessed with seeing Kyoshi take a piss that she had made them make him drink this tea. But now by both Kyoshi and Four Eyes wondering what they could do, and Four Eyes out of nowhere was saying some bull about by her appearance and by her actions, she should be a history buff, but obviously that right there was BS, because when this guy was going on and on, it was having no effect on her, and it actually made her punch him, and because obviously we saw that blood coming out from his mouth, and now we see that Kyoshi was definitely reaching his limits here, because he needed to use the bathroom, and when Four Eyes had told Hana about this, obviously that right there is what she wanted. And so now, going to the bathroom with her, we see now that Hana here was trying so hard for him, or trying so hard to pull their pants down. And obviously, Kyoshi was resisting. And that right there, I can't blame him, because it was so creepy, from how desperate she was looking, because both times, she got so close, and you see her now blushing, and her mouth open. It was this girl, it was Hana here was going to have a freaking orgasm from watching him piss. But finally, he had enough, and there was some kind of accident that had made her fall, because Kyoshi was moving, way too much, and we see now that tripped her up, and she was falling now, but we see that she had finally pulled her pants down, but Kyoshi couldn't hold it in anymore, and finally, he had finally, used the bathroom, but sadly, he used it on her, and we see now Hana screaming out, and we have the vice president drinking water like a whore. Come on now, nobody drinks water like that. So she was definitely drinking like a whore, and we see her now rushing to the bathroom, and when we see Hana, I was dying laughing, because she was covered in piss, and we see her now kind of she gave up on life, and to me it was hilarious. But luckily we have Kyoshi, now making his own escape. But this episode right here, it could easily be called the pee incident or pissing incident, and that right there is probably what I would title this video after, because to me, I was dying laughing when I was watching that. But now the following day, Hana's definitely not back, and I do wonder how long will it be before she recover from this, and I do wonder if Kyoshi here will make it out in time for his date, because right now with Hana out of commission, I'm pretty sure that the vice president cannot watch them both. So I do wonder, how would the next episode go? But I'm definitely looking forward to it. But this episode, like I said, it was great. I loved it. The comedy, it's just so freaking amazing. Like this show, to me, it's definitely hard to take it seriously because the comedy is there so much, but I loved it about that. But overall, the episode, I'm getting probably a 9 out of 10 because to me, like I said, I loved it. I thought it was like really freaking good. But of course, I love how you got thoughts on this. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I'll see you all next time.